Imagine a kid learning to ride a bike, and his father's right there to hold his hand and keep him balanced as he's riding it. But at some point, the kid gets impatient and he thinks, you know what? I got this. And he shakes off his father's hand, basically. What do you think happens next? Well, without the proper guidance that he chose to ignore, he wobbled, he lost control, and he crashed. Now tell me, how many times have we done the exact same thing with God? See, we love asking God for guidance, but the real question is, do we actually follow it when he gives it? And God, he's not a God that just wants to watch your life unfold. He's trying to lead you to what is best for you. But when you keep ignoring his voice, all you're doing is just keep delaying the blessings that he's about to give you. The very blessings that you've been praying for quite a while. So let me expose straight up exactly why most people in this world actually miss God's direction on their lives. Think about this. If you had a map in your hands that led you to success and straight to purpose, would you follow it? Of course, that's a no-brainer right there. You already have the map, the keys to how to live a successful life. But the problem is that most people choose to walk the long way around instead of following the map that they have in their own hands. I'm going to read you a verse, Isaiah 48:17. Thus says the Lord your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, I am the Lord your God, who teaches you to profit, who leads you by the way that you should go. So why don't you let that sink in for a bit? God isn't just watching your life unfold. He's literally actively trying to guide you in every step of the way of the path that you're walking on. But here's where most of us go wrong. First, we want God's help after we've already made a mess of things. We chase opportunities that feel right instead of chasing the ones that are God-led. And we also choose to make quick emotional decisions instead of waiting for his direction and his alone. It's like a hiker ignoring his trail map that he set up for and choosing to walk in the wilderness instead. And then what happens to him? He just gets lost and he screams for help later. But God is trying to tell you, if you would have just listened to me from the start, you wouldn't have to go through unnecessary pain. But because you made that choice, you have to go through that pain for a while until God leads you to the right steps you need to walk on. And God doesn't just want you to survive. As long as you can trust him and believe in his word, he wants to teach you how to walk in wisdom. But wisdom only works if you actually choose to follow his directions. Also, one of the biggest mistakes we make is thinking that we know better than God. Well, we don't. Sometimes we force relationships that God never approved, but you're just trying to feed your flesh and thinking, she looks cool, or he looks cool. Oh, I get good vibes from her. I get good vibes from him. Next thing you know, 6 months later, you two break up because you chose to walk on the wrong path. Another problem is that we chase money instead of purpose. And we also choose to rely on logic when God is calling us to faith. If I can also tell you Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Notice how it doesn't say, figure things out on your own, and then God's gonna fix it. Nah, that's not it. So if you're seeking financial breakthrough in your life, you need to follow God's biblical principles instead of chasing get-rich-quick schemes. If you're searching for purpose, stop making random moves in your life. Start listening to God's direction. And if you want a godly relationship, stop chasing the people that don't serve you and that were never going to love you in the first place, and seek a godly relationship with him. And once you do that, then he will lead you to the right person that was meant for you in your life. Basically, he will align you with the right person at the right time, but you need to trust him. And that goes beyond the logic that you've been given into in the first place. Because sometimes our logic, it's there because we need to solve things on the spot, right? There's like these problems that you think, because we live in the 21st century and we have all this technology with us, it gets harder to acknowledge his presence because we rely on things man-made, right? You want to order food, you can do that in 2 seconds with Uber Eats, right on the spot, DoorDash. And it's like life, it's ironic how life is on easy mode and yet people are struggling more when it comes to money. I mean, what do you think was going to happen? You see pornography everywhere. You see people sitting in the streets and on the spot as if nothing's happening. right? The real revelation here is not that we're struggling because God is silent, but it's because we choose to refuse to listen. We lean on our own understanding, and that's what gets us lost. But the moment that we fully surrender, that's when things start to align in your life. And that's when He makes our paths straight. And that's when the doors become so widely open that it goes beyond what you expected as His blessing in the first place. So here's the real question I can ask you. Is God really silent on your life, or is it because you choose not to listen to Him? Because the truth is, as hard as it is to see, He was actually guiding you this whole time. The problem is we get so caught up in our own plans in life, our own emotions, our own logic, that we completely miss what He's saying. Isaiah tells us that God is trying to teach you what's best for you. The book of Proverbs tells us that God will guide us only if we can trust Him first. So here's my call for you today. Stop making random turns in life like a lost driver without a GPS and start actually following God's direction. Because when you finally let go and trust Him, you're soon going to realize that He's been leading you all along. And let me know in the comments below, what's one thing in your life that you just want to stop leaning on your own understanding for? I hope you enjoyed this. I love you. Stay blessed and have a great day. Ciao.